Hi, today I'm going to be making a vegetarian lasagna. I've recently gone vegetarian, so I just wanted to try a bunch of vegetarian dishes. Normally I'm not the biggest fan of lasagna, but this recipe sounded really good, so I'm going to give it a whirl, see if it turns out great, and if it does, make it with me. First thing we need to do for the lasagna is cook up our lasagna noodles. So take a large pot of water, put it over high heat, and let it come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, we are going to add some lasagna noodles, and we're going to cook them for about 10 minutes or until al dente, based on what your box says. Al dente, it's between a soft, slimy noodle and too firm a hard noodle. It's kind of that perfect balance that you want for noodles and pastas. So get it to a boil and cook your pasta until al dente, about 10 minutes. Now that your large pot of water is to a boil, start putting in your lasagna noodles. Okay, now let these cook for 10 minutes or until al dente. Just follow the instructions on the box. Lasagna noodles have been boiling for 10 minutes. Pour them out in a large colander. And now what you need to do is run some cold water over them. Rinse them with cold water. Okay, now we're just going to let these sit here as we work on putting the rest of our lasagna together, and then we're going to layer it all together in a baking dish and bake it. For this recipe, you need sliced mushrooms, which you can buy sliced, it saves you time. You need 3/4 a cup of chopped green bell pepper, 3/4 a cup of chopped onion, and then 3 cloves of minced garlic. Now you can go more and less with these, depending on how you like it. I'm going to say probably 3/4 a cup of onion is probably half an onion. I'm going to say it's probably half a bell pepper too. Maybe the larger halves, not the smaller halves. Now, with the green bell pepper, you're going to want to get out your seeds, so I would do this over a trash can with a spoon. And you want to get out this middle part here as well. Okay, there you go then. Start out with thin slivers. And take those. Now I'm going to use the same technique for the green bell pepper. Just kind of do slivers. I'm going to hold those, turn those, and then go end to end on those. Now for the minced garlic, you just put it down, smash it with the fat end of your blade. That allows the skin to come off. evenly. Just kind of pop with your blade or do a sawing motion. Now in the largest saucepan you've got, put it over medium heat. And you need to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. 1. There's 2. Okay. Let that heat up for a minute. Then we're going to add our 16 ounces of sliced mushrooms, our chopped onions, our chopped green pepper, and our minced garlic, but only after it heats up. Now that our 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil have heated up, add in 1 pound of fresh mushrooms. Make sure they're sliced. This is really the biggest saucepan I have, so really, I mean, you need to be using a huge saucepan for this. So stir them around, make sure they all get covered as best as possible. Now add in your 3/4 cup of onion. And your 3/4 cup of green bell peppers. Stir those around a bit. And on this spoon I have our 3 cloves of garlic that have been minced. So get those in there. Really make sure you keep stirring everything. You want it all to get starting to brown up, and the mushrooms and onions will shrink a little. The onions will become transparent. You can see through them, and they're starting to get cooked. Mine is small, but yours should look like something like a medley of this. Now at this point, you need 2 jars, each one 26 ounces of pasta sauce. I'm a little low on mine, but what you're looking for is a total of 52 ounces. There's 1 jar. My second jar is a lot tinier, so I'm a little under on my ounces, but you need a total of 52 ounces. And then you need a teaspoon of dried basil. So there it is. And stir all this together. Be careful if you're like me and you have a small saucepan. We want this to boil now that we've got the pasta sauce in it. So I'm going to keep it at a medium-high for a little while. But you can turn it up to a high if you want. The point is, we need to bring it to a boil, and then as soon as it's at a boil, put it down all the way to your lowest setting. And then that's going to simmer it. It's just going to bubble for a little while, lock in that flavor. So boil it, and then bring it to a simmer, and then we're going to simmer it for 15 minutes. When your mushroom and pasta mixture is almost done simmering, start mixing together 2 cups of shredded mozzarella, 15 ounces of ricotta cheese, 2 large eggs. It's good to have your cheeses warm for this recipe, and in general. So let them sit out a little bit, get to room temperature. Brings out the flavor that way and makes them easier to mix. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that your vegetable and pasta sauce mixture is done simmering, you need to take a cup of it, a cup of the liquid part. So if you want to save it earlier, I don't blame you. Okay, and spread it out. Being very messy, but I will clean up after myself. So just kind of spread that out. Yeah, once again, you're supposed to do this with just pasta sauce. The point is, it gives you a nice layer to work on top of. Try to cover it all as best you can. Okay, now we're going to do 2 main layers. So take half of your pasta noodles and put them on top of it. Okay? Next it says to take half of your mixture, your pasta and vegetable mixture, and kind of spoon that on top. There we go. And then take half of your ricotta, egg, and mozzarella mixture, kind of put that on top of it. Okay? Now you gotta take the rest of your noodles and put them on top. And on top of this, we're gonna do half a cup of grated Parmesan. Very delicious. Okay? And on top of that, 2 cups of mozzarella. Shredded mozz. Now that we've finished preparing our lasagna, get it in your oven that's at 350 and cook it for 40 minutes. And then we're going to get it out and let it cool for at least 15 minutes so it can solidify some. So 350 degrees, 40 minutes. It's been about 36 minutes and my oven runs a little hot, so that's fine. Looks good, it's got that nice kind of golden brown because of the cheese. Now I'm going to set this on your oven. Or set this on my oven, and let it cool for at least 15 minutes. Well, I was a little impatient with my lasagna when I got a piece out, but it is starting to solidify. So if you really do leave it still for like 20 minutes or half an hour, it'll be very easy to cut. Now let's try a piece. That's really good. It's got that wholesome lasagna flavor. Very cheesy, but it's not overpowering, and I love cheese anyway. The vegetables are good, make it nice and hearty. To me it tastes just like a lot of other lasagnas, only vegetarian. So, if you're interested, try it. Good luck.